Smell it.
Hey everybody, it's Dick here. I recently had the pleasure of spending the day chatting and riding with the inimitable Ian Fitzgerald. Ian is an inappropriate racer extraordinaire and accomplished trials driver, as well as an extremely talented shed-based motorcycle fabricator / mad genius. He has won at the Malle Mile and Despatch Rally, where I first met him in person, although I had seen and admired his bikes for at least a year before that. Last year, Ian invited me to attend the Goodwood Festival of Speed, giving us further opportunity to get to know one another. In this video, Ian takes me through his new build, the Dirt Bandit, a Suzuki Bandit with the suspension from a Yamaha XT660, and his two other builds, the VFR-based Despatch Tracker and the KTM-powered Malle Monster. And this thing. Oh, I didn't see it with the seat. That looks awesome.
The Dirt Bandit.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's well, I haven't got the side panels on it at the minute.
So, did you have to do any welding back here?
Yeah, I've made all this. Let me show you. Yeah, so I've made all this from there, and then I've cut all the old frame off of here and off of here because it all sort of came back.
Yeah.
From there, and then I've plated all this up. Cut all the where the foot pegs would have gone back here.
Yeah.
But because it's an off-road bike, I've moved the foot pegs forward onto the frame, so I've welded plates onto the frame and everything. Made the side stand, made everything.
That's cool. So what, do you have a, that's compressor.
Yeah, I've got two welders over here. I've done everything in here. I've made everything on this bike in this garage.
That is awesome. So you lopped it off here,
yeah,
and here,
yeah,
and then you made plates and welded to the plates there?
So this now bolts on and off, whereas the standard one doesn't.
Yeah,
it's just welded on.
So if you crash and that gets bent, you can just bolt on a new one? I can take it off and
straighten it out, yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty tidy under there, isn't it?
Yeah, so there's obviously the batteries in there. I've got the regulator rectifiers here, so I've got fuse box here, or fuse box there, a few relays in here, and then the ECU's up here.
That's awesome.
There isn't a lot of room.
No, there's not a lot of room.
Yesterday I made this little bracket that'll go on under there.
Street legal.
Yeah, and put the light on. So that'll all just fit together. There's the light that goes on that.
So was this on already?
No.
Oh no. So it was just you made it for the mile, and now you're gonna make it road.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, now I'll get on the road.
Now you get on the road.
So yeah, so.
So when you do something like this kind of Frankenstein Monster bike, this is like the third one you've done.
Fourth, fifth.
Okay.
Fifth, so I've sold two.
Okay.
And then this fits on here as well, like that. See.
Oh, that's cool. What's that off of?
I made that.
Oh, you did.
Made that.
That's awesome. That's really well done. That's clean.
And then it's just been powder coated. And then that fits on there. So it just covers up all the electrics.
So, when you say you made that, did you press that or did you weld it? You welded it.
So
and
I made
and
it
buffed
as a flat piece of metal.
Yeah.
And then I've bent it into shape, and then I've welded it. I've welded it in all these in the corners, and then ground it off.
Okay.
You need a grinder.
Yeah.
Grinder and a welder. You can do a lot with a grinder and a welder. And then so I just made all these little back plates on here, so it all just fits together.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a lot of time to do stuff like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, it's proper fabrication.
Yeah.
It's not just bolt-on stuff.
And then anyway,
I can hold it while you look.
Yeah, you hold that, and then this just. And then it all just fits together like that.
Oh, that's nice.
That'll stay there now. Just take
It'll
it.
stay there?
Just stay there.
Okay. So, did you lop the pan that was there, and then?
No. I'll show you. I'll show you some. No, so I made the base.
Okay.
So I made a base, and then I put foam on it. So I made it the shape I wanted.
Yeah.
And then I took it to an upholsterer, and then he did the leather.
Nice.
Smell it.
Oh, it's proper leather. Wow. Yeah.
No, he did a very nice job on it.
Yeah.
But, so the suspension is off a Yamaha XT660.
Is that the swing arm as well?
Swing arm.
Swing arm.
Shock. So I've had to make new mountings up in here. So I've got all new suspension mountings, top and bottom, to take the linkage and everything.
Yeah.
And I've made the exhaust. If you look at the exhaust, I made that from scratch. Let me jack it up in here.
So this frame.
Yeah, so it's Bandit frame.
Steel.
Yes. Yeah, I only work with steel. I don't do
Okay.
aluminium.
I was gonna say, it's like a whole different.
It's a different
welding.
You need
Yeah.
more. It's a similar type of welding, but you just need different machinery. Really.
Sure.
And it's a lot harder to work with.
Yeah.
Whereas with steel, I know I can bend it and shape it. And
yeah. And bend
do
it
what I
back
need.
if you need.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And weld it easily.
Wow, look at that linkage you made. So back there. So
yeah. So it's all that back there. So I've had to move it from the standard.
Yep.
And then all this sump guard I've made. I'll say the exhaust. I made the exhaust.
So as a sump guard, you weld it to the frame.
So this is bolted to. I welded some tabs on the frame before.
Okay.
Before I finished everything.
Yep.
And because I knew I was going to put a sump guard on it.
Okay.
And then I just made the brackets to come off the welded frame one. So the same at the front here.
So the sump guard is, catalog, or did you make
I made that. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man!
I made that in here.
Because that's quality stuff right there.
Yeah, until you get around this side, when you see where he hits it.
Until you.
It's bent on this side as well.
I see.
Here. You're in there.
Oh, look at that radiator.
Yeah.
Oh my! It's like an accordion.
Yeah, yeah. And he just ran straight into the side there, hit me exhaust, dented me exhaust.
So did the bash guard make contact with the exhaust?
No, I think it sort of saved it. I'll take this off and I'll straighten that out.
Yeah.
And then I'll just get it powder coated.
Yeah, you don't have to start from scratch.
No.
Yeah.
It's salvageable. But I was very proud of that.
Yeah. You should be. It's beautiful. It looks manufactured.
It was in my garage.
Well, yeah. mass manufactured.
Yeah. So like things like the headlight brackets, I made them.
I like those. Those are elegant, aren't they?
Yeah, I made them in here again. Everything I've made in here.
So when you get a bike, or when you choose it, like, did you go, I'm gonna do a Bandit?
No, I thought I'm gonna do a 4-cylinder.
Okay.
And then this Bandit came up just up the road from me for 180 quid. So I paid 180 quid for the engine and the frame. Okay. That was all I had.
Yeah.
Oh, and the tank.
Yeah.
So the tank had the fuel pump in it, everything. He gave me all the electronics to make the engine run.
Okay.
So I thought, yeah, great, 180 quid.
Yeah.
Easy.
See what we can do.
So I'll just see what I can do with it, and then and that's what came out of it.
And then the XT parts, did you buy that a donor bike, or did you buy?
No, I bought them from a donor bike.
Okay.
£500 I paid for the front end and the back end.
Okay.
So wheels included, disc, calipers, the whole lot. And unfortunately, the front end just bolted straight in.
Yeah. I love the tow hitch that the XT has.
I made like this steering lock on here, so that you can adjust the steering lock on it.
Okay.
So it's actually got, for a road bike that's turned into a dirt bike, it's actually got a really good steering lock. You can see I've actually raised about 1.5 inches through the top of the yokes.
I see.
So it's not got the full length on it. Because road bikes tend to have their headstock lower than dirt bikes. Dirt bikes tend to have a high headstock. So I've had to lift it up a little bit, but it still gives it about 8 inches of travel.
It's legit. And did you, when you were showing the pictures, I mentioned how that clearance. Did you have any issue with the mud on the day?
No.
It's
actually got quite a lot of clearance.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. No, I see it.
It's not been an issue at all.
Yeah.
No, it was good. Not that it was muddy there, really.
No, it was dusty, wasn't it? And I like the ignition placement.
Yeah, well, I was surprised that the Yamaha top yoke didn't have a place to put the ignition switch. So I just mounted it on the left, which is, it's a good.
Because isn't it mounted to the frame on the Yamaha?
It must be. Because I thought there would be something to put in here. Because on the Bandit, there's a hole which this just fits through.
Yeah.
Which would have been quite nice. But
I don't know. These side things are all the rage now.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, but it's also easy to reach with your left hand.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll get it finished on the road now, and then I'll say.
So your paint, are you doing that yourself? Or is that
that's
sticker?
a sticker?
Oh, it looks
It's a
good.
sticker.
All right.
Dirt Bandit.
This is cool, man. I'm really impressed with the with all the welding and stuff that you do.
I used to be a welder.
Oh, did really?
Yeah.
Because that's an art.
Yeah,
Because there's a lot of people who do bad welding.
Yeah, I was
Like when you said you said you made the tabs for the suspension, there's a lot of stress going to those weld points. You know,
it's surprising what you can tidy up with a grinder.
With a grinder.
She sounds good as well.
I can imagine.
You're going to stand behind it.
Okay. So does the radiator work, or is it? That's serious. Did it scare the hell out of people? Maybe that's why the old guy crashed.
Do you know what? The VFR's louder than this.
Oh, the VFR.
When it was outside, it's louder in here because it echoes.
Yeah.
The VFR, I take everything out of the baffles of the VFR. That's loud.
Yeah.
I get called Mr. Noisy at Malle now. I am Mr. Noisy.
Well, you need it's a spectacle, isn't it? You have to
Yeah, of course it is, yeah.
You have to get
get
everyone's attention. So did this get a lot of attention when it was?
It never really got.
It
got
was the first
seen,
race.
yeah,
It was the first race.
His second run up he got knocked off. Yeah, so that was it. We just put it away in the van. But yeah.
Have you ever had a crash on the other two when you've?
I fell off the KTM at Malle this year. Not badly. Yeah, I fell off the VFR at Dirt Quake on the warm-up lap.
But it wasn't out of commission.
And I thought, right, I'm gonna watch this. It was a watch this moment.
Hold my beer.
Nailed it, and then the back end came out and it just flicked me off.
Flick you off. It happens
I've
quick,
literally
doesn't it?
just finished that as well, and I've ridden it 250 miles to Kings Lynn to ride it, to race it.
Yeah.
And on the warm-up lap, binned it. I mean, straightened out, and I still carried on racing. And
I was gonna say it didn't.
Well, the handlebars were like a bit like that.
Well, you're only turning left anyway, so it's fine.
So yeah, I have fallen off the other two. Well, the VFR's still got the scratches on the exhaust. Yeah, we'll go out now.
Cool.
Then you got these two.
These two are the best, man.
The Malle Monster.
Did this happen this year?
No, I did that last year. Green lane riding with my knee. I put my knee into it. So the bike went down on the right.
Yep.
I rode it into a bush and got knocked out of the bush. And then my knee went into the side of the tank. That's an old Yamaha XS1100 tank.
I was going to say, that looks very familiar.
Yeah, it is the XS1100 Yamaha. Cut everything out of the middle and then welded it back up so it fitted the KTM frame.
So it says KTM.
Yes.
Give me an idea of how much of a KTM this is. It's still...
So the whole chassis.
Yep.
Forks, frame, engine, all the radiator, everything. The wheels are supermoto wheels, and normally it'd have off-road wheels.
Okay.
Then I've made the XS1100 tank fit.
Yep.
I made the seat.
Yep.
I made the subframe.
Yeah.
And then these are off an early 80s Mako 490. And then the same with the tail. That's off like a vintage enduro. And that was what I was aiming for, a vintage enduro style monster.
Yeah, because like this has that's plastic, but it has a very sense of like the old fiberglass.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's actually a KTM Adventure 950S. So
it's young.
It's a 2003.
All right.
So it's an Adventure S, but it's got a 2008 Super Duke engine in it. So it's got 120 horsepower. It's got 100 horsepower at the back wheel.
Wow.
And it's running on the 950 carbs, so it keeps it sweet. Yeah, so it's 70 mile an hour first gear on it.
And what is it? It's 6 gear?
6 gears. But then the other 5 are really close together.
Sure.
Because it's off a Super Duke, so it's off a sports bike almost.
Yeah. So
you're first gear.
You're in top gear quick, yeah.
Like a vintage style headlight unit. The light's not very good, but then I don't ride it.
How old is this? I mean, when did you make this? What year?
About 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So I've raced it at Malle twice.
Yep.
I won the Saturday on this last year at Malle.
Oh, I thought you won on the...
I won that the year before. I won the whole event on that.
Okay.
But this, I won the Saturday. There was 500 riders there on the Saturday last year. And I won the final then. and then I stalled it when in the semi-final on the Sunday to get into the final against KTM 200. So I got beaten by KTM 200.
Oh no! So on paper you would have gotten them if you didn't stall.
Easily.
Yeah.
What was left was an
Well,
SLR.
whenever I see your videos of you racing someone, they're all like, they look over at you and they're like, ah, whatever.
Mate, they were all avoiding me this year. I was sat in the queue on my own. No one was coming over.
That's stock swing arm.
Yeah, stock swing arm.
It looks long, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, KTM make off-road bikes, don't they? So
Yeah.
It is an off-road bike.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, when it's got the dirt wheels in it, I'll send you some
Yeah.
pictures of it.
It
with
looks
the dirt wheels
it looks more
It's
proportioned.
a proper off-road bike.
Yeah.
But I don't think you'd have touched the ground with the off-road wheels on. It's so tall.
Yeah. And that's KTM shock.
Yeah. Yeah, I just powder coated the spring to make it look like an O-ring.
Yeah. Okay.
It is actually a WP shock,
Okay.
same as the front.
I do like that big old XS tank.
Yeah, I mean, none of my bikes are show ponies, are they? I ride them.
They are though.
They're not though,
They're-
are they?
They're.
I don't shine them up and make them look pretty.
But this is the one that I would notice in the lot. You know, when people park up. That's.
Yeah, it definitely gets a lot of look.
Yeah.
It definitely does.
And this thing.
And well, people don't even know what this is.
I noticed the frame for the VFR.
Yeah. So it's all VFR. So the tank is VFR.
Yeah.
Engine's VFR, frame's VFR, and that's it. That's as far as it goes. Oh, the radiator is, but then front forks are off a Triumph, brakes are off a Triumph, wheels that's a Triumph.
A Triumph what? Tiger?
No, these are off a Triumph. It's a Triumph Adventurer front wheel,
Yeah.
and a mid-90s one,
Okay.
and then the forks are off an early Triumph Trident, I think.
Really?
Yeah, you know the 90s.
Yeah.
Triumph Trident, yeah. So there was a friendly.
Because those are fat.
Well, they're not though, because that's a cover.
Oh.
You look, see.
Oh, I see.
I didn't like the skinny look on them,
Okay.
so I covered them.
That's what threw me. I was
Yeah.
like, that couldn't. I do love the bobber headlamp on it.
Yeah. So then you've got the oil cooler down here. I made that.
This old.
Fire extinguisher.
So it is a proper fire.
Oh, it is
it's
a fire
just
extinguisher,
okay.
But it's the I've got it connected to the radiator, so it's the header tank for the radiator.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. Like, what is it now?
Yeah. So that's what it does now.
Sure.
But it is actually an old fire extinguisher. Yeah, 1950s fire extinguisher.
So does that ever get?
What?
I mean, it's brass, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
yeah. So that could put up with some abuse.
Well, it did until I fell off at Dirt Quake and I squashed it flat.
Really?
Yeah. So that's the second one.
That's the second one. Yeah.
It was absolutely. It made a good crash bung. It was absolutely squashed flat. The exhausts, I made all the exhausts. Well, there's a lot there, but it was really difficult. I wanted to put a high level exhaust on it, but because of the rear cylinders, there's just nowhere to bring the exhausts out. And the only way I could get them was to take them down underneath.
Yeah.
So they go underneath, and then you see they come forward and join back in here.
Oh wow. You wouldn't know it looking at it, but
Well,
that's
a lot of people don't realise it's actually a V12. Sorry, a V4.
V4.
They think it's just a parallel twin at the
Yeah.
front. They just see the two coming down at the
Yeah,
front.
as opposed to the
That's
ones
all they
hidden up
think
there.
it is.
You're doing, flat tracking and scrambling and off-road stuff with these big fat radiators off these road bikes. Is that you just like having the road bike power on a
Yeah, why not?
scrambler?
Yeah.
Have you ever had a single cylinder one where you've just
Yeah, I've had loads of single cylinder KTMs and stuff. I've had proper off-road bikes.
yeah, but
I
these are
just don't-
fun.
This is about inappropriate racing, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Explain this to me because this is awesome.
It does nothing.
No, really.
No. I just welded it on the side of the tank. And then
when I first saw that at the Despatch Rally, I was like, that is the craziest thing. Because that's your fuel tank.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So I just welded it
I
to
was
the
like,
side
where
of
did
the
he
fuel
do the
tank.
fuel tank?
I mean, the airbox is just there.
Yeah, it is.
So
yeah.
the airbox is just there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted a forward-facing air intake.
That's awesome. That's so funny.
And then the subframe, I made all the subframe. And the same with the. So this is all the electrics box under here.
Okay.
I won't take the seat off, but
Yeah, you know.
all the electrics are in there. The battery's just in that bit.
Okay.
So all the ECU.
And you're running a standard battery, or you run a small, one of those
no,
tiny?
standard battery.
Wow.
It probably is slightly smaller than the standard, but
And you made your own luggage rack?
My
or?
pannier racks, yeah. Because I put panniers on it.
You could probably go for ages on this if...
Yeah, it's got about a 220 mile tank range. It goes forever.
Yeah.
So I never fill it up, because otherwise you're running around with like 25 litres of fuel in there.
When you race it, do you have a little bit of fuel? Just enough, so it's not top heavy?
Don't top it up.
Yeah.
No, I never top it up.
Well, that's the fire extinguisher when it explodes, right? So what are these handlebars off? Is just something you just something flat tracker style.
Yeah, flat tracker style handlebars.
And this is road legal. Yeah. That's awesome. I love the copper tubing off the radiator.
Yeah, I mean what Honda run is a rubber hose that sort of just goes down there, and it just looked horrible.
Yeah, it's like the Suzuki SVs, or
yeah, it's just like
yeah.
Because it's behind a fairing, they don't do anything
they don't
with
care
it.
about
they
it.
don't care. So no, I thought, right, that looks better.
Yeah. Swing arm and shock, that's off the VFR, or is that something that's funky?
Yeah, VFR swing arm.
Okay.
CBR 600 rear shock.
Ah. Did you have to reposition, or you just plug it right in?
No. I mean, I knew they pretty much fitted. And what I wanted was slightly longer than the VFR one, so that's 5mm longer, which gives you a little bit more ground clearance at the back. Yeah. But it's still quite stiff. Yep. You know, for a dirt bike. But if I've hit the under tray here with the back wheel hitting it before. Oh, really? Okay. So it travels all the way up there. And then the foot pegs are off a Hayabusa. These are off a Hayabusa. And they bolted right on? Yeah, they did. Nuts. Bolted straight to the frame. That's nuts. And the your petcock thing, that's standard. That's standard, yeah. Because that combined with that makes it look like you've spent a lot of time and energy thinking about redesigning that. No. But it totally goes into this whole industrial. Yeah. I don't know if steampunk's the word, or Mad Max, or quite steampunk. Yeah. Well, the brass and the copper piping, you're skirting the edge. And then a Super Sprox rear sprocket. I love those Super Sprox rear sprockets with the aluminium in the middle, steel ring on the outside. Okay. Just makes them last a lot longer. I mean, that's been on there 6 years now. Really? Yeah. Same chain too? I've raced it on the beach and everything. Wow. Yeah, same chain. How many tires do you go through? That tire's done about 1,000 miles at the minute. Okay. Which isn't too bad for what it is. For what it is. Yeah, you're an artist, man. That's cool. Should we ride them? Yeah, let's. Okay. Let's go. Nice. If you like that video and you want to see more like them, hit like, share, and subscribe.